So let's now address this issue. If I was going to set up a learning centre in Europe, I can tell you exactly where I would set it up. In Greece, you reckon? Well, let me tell you the truth about Greece. Do you want to hear the truth about Greece? You see all of these mountain ranges through here, and all of these mountain ranges that go through here, and all of those mountain ranges that go through there, they are there because of a compression zone. So that goes from the top through here, the top of, this is what? Turkey is through here, isn't it? So through Turkey, through Greece, through Italy and the Southern Alps, and through the Alps of Spain and southern France, the Pyrenees. So all the way through there is the zone. It's the second most active seismic zone in the world. Right? The first most active seismic zone is the Pacific Ring of Fire. The second most active zone is this zone, through there. That's a compression zone. In other words, any seismic activity that occurs in your region in Europe is all going to happen due to the compression of the African continent moving upwards towards the Eurasian continent or the European continent, right? And as the African continent moves up, you get a compression all the way through where the land is subducting, where it's going underneath. And as a result of that, this is the most volcanically active zone in your region, and it is also the most seismically earthquake-prone zone in the region. So does it sound to you like Greece is going to be the best place to be if this compression continues? Not really, does it? No. Can you see that? Where would be the best place to be, do you think? On the moon. There's no atmosphere to breathe on the moon. Not good for you. Scandinavia? Yes. Those from Scandinavia want to say that. Where is there no compression zones? Obviously, if you look at the map. In this area here, isn't it? Can you see that? There's no compression zones in those areas. Of course, this area here is from Germany across, isn't it? And then as you come across into Russia, obviously there's less compression until you get to this fault here, which is another compression zone. All right? Now, all through this area is relatively flat in comparison with the other locations, because these are the seismic areas. They are the places where things compress. So if I was going to build a place that I wanted to be a learning centre, I certainly wouldn't be focusing somewhere around here, or here, or here, anywhere through here. Just from a point of practicality, right? And I haven't even discussed what's going to happen with water events and what supervolcanoes might erupt or any of those things. All I've done is discuss just the practicalities of where the compression is going to occur. Right? Okay, so where I would choose is probably right up here, just in there, which is on the border between Finland and Sweden. Yeah?
You know, it's very dark.
Yes, I know, because it's almost in the Arctic. On the
It's north from the pole, sort of, so it's
exactly.
dark like a month or so.
Yeah, completely dark for a month, and then it gets completely light for another month at the opposite end, yes? No worries. Exactly. There's the Arctic track there. So due to the Earth being on a 22.5 degree axis, of course, part of it is going to, at any one point in time, be dark at the tops and the bottoms at the poles, right? So that area. And yet I would still choose there. Well, is it going to shift? Well, what Katerina just said is it's going to shift, right? In other, sorry. Eventually, light's going to come. Well, you don't know that for certain, though, do you? No. Okay. So why say that? You're hoping that that's the case. Yeah. You see, most of the time, what we do is we don't follow our feelings. What we do is we follow logic in most of our choices and decisions. Now, what I'm suggesting to you is you need to have a mixture of logic and feelings. You can't just have feelings by themselves, because often the feelings are distorted by errors and therefore will be inaccurate. But you can't just have logic by itself either, because logic doesn't usually we're flawed in our logic. We don't include all things in our logic. For example, what we often do when we're looking at the earth and we're looking at where's the place to live and what do we want to do, what passions do we have, my feelings are, along those lines, I know there are many millions of spiritual people in Russia. I know that as you get more and more into Western Europe, the spirituality declines because everyone is more capitalistic. Everyone is more focused on their day-to-day life in terms of money, less focused in terms of God, right? As you progress this direction, there's less focus on money because they don't have as much money. Their economies are quite poor, and therefore they are more focused on developing other things. And many of them are much more connected with nature as a result. Generally, a connection with nature results in a more spiritual environment, right? So I'm feeling about all the people in this region and I'm going, these are people who are going to be ready to hear truth at some point soon in the future. It would make sense to me to have a place somewhere through here, right, that would be a learning centre so that those people at some point can be attracted to that place and learn about the truth. That's my desire. And all I do is feel that desire and go, I look at the people and feel the desire and I go, yeah, that sounds good. And then if I know a bit about, where the zones are and where the changes might occur, I go, surely that would make sense to place a learning centre where the people who are probably more open to learning are going to be, than it is to place a learning centre where people are very close to learning about divine truth, right? So that's where I would focus my attention, in that region there. In that region there. And this covers a large region, does it not? You're looking, the Black Sea is there, you've got Georgia here, and then you've got all north of that, the mountains, and then you've got north of that, all west of these mountains here. They're called are they the Urals? The what? Euralia, the Urals, yeah. And then anywhere from here across, obviously this area here is automatically interesting, I feel. That's my personal opinion. But just imagine for a moment that what I said yesterday is true. And what I said yesterday is that around Naples, there is a supervolcano. And there are 3 points here on the border between France and Italy, and here on the border between Italy and... Sorry? Slovenia. That's it, Slovenia. Between those, there are points of major tectonic stress. And these are the areas that the spirits have indicated at this point that would eventually something would happen to. Now, if something does happen there and we have major volcanic eruptions, can you see this whole region here is going to be severely affected by those things, by those events? Can you see that? Now, the Earth also rotates at the moment in this direction, does it not? So this is the east, this is the west, yes? So as the Earth rotates eastward, anything that's spewing out will automatically go just west, will it not? And the only thing stopping that is the weather-based systems that come in from the Atlantic, which come in usually, don't they, from your northwest. And that's the only thing stopping the flow of that ash and dust that will come out of these things. So you can see that in time, all of this region here, a lot of this region, unless we have some major blows pulling them back in the other direction, all of this region is potentially going to be covered in ash at least, yes? If these volcanoes do erupt. If you've got this continent moving up that way, a lot of the area all the way through here may subduct actually, may actually go underneath the European plate, go underneath the plate. So we may have large land masses in Europe completely disappearing and going under the ground.